this lesson, we'll get started by downloading the Lesson 8 project files from the class page, and we're going to be doing a variety of different advanced text things that you can do with typography. Things like doing drop caps, adding line punctuations and special characters, even doing tabs. Once it's downloaded, you can open up the 08 Start InDesign file. And once it's loaded, I'm going to go up to File and let's do a Save As so we can save it as a different version. Change the name from Start to Type. And we'll hit Save from there. Now, since I'm working in the Essentials mode, there's two different character panels that we want to have active and open. If you don't see your control panel at the very top, we can open up our Character and Paragraph panel by going to Window, down to Type and Tables. There it is down here, and let's open our Character panel. This will give us all the functions that we need to change up our font and do everything with our characters. And again, if we go to Window, Type and Tables, you can choose your Paragraph panel. And this Paragraph panel gives us further control. Keep in mind, both of these panels, when you choose your Type tool and select text, are available right here to swap between both of those. So it's essentially a compact, dedicated panels to just those settings. I'm going to pull them off over here to the side. So I've got them handy and I can click on them and open them as necessary. And you'll see me use those back and forth. Also, while I'm here, let's go up to Type and show our hidden characters so that we can see where we're doing some special effects to these designs. One of the first things we can do is to zoom down and scroll down to this green area down here. And we want to add some space between all the different parts of this little recipe. So let's grab our Type tool. I'm going to click once at the beginning here and then drag down to select all of the text from ½ a pound of strawberries to protein 0 grams. If we open up our Paragraph panel, we want to add spacing between all of these by increasing the amount of space that's after each individual little paragraph. To do that, we've got this option set here inside of our Paragraph panel. You can get an idea of what it is by looking at the little icon. And if we click it once, you can see how it adds a little bit of spacing between here and it pushes it down. Now, this will create some overset text for now, but we're going to resolve that in just a little bit. I'll go up to Edit and we'll deselect all of this. Let's zoom back out and go up to the word strawberries. I want to put this into a new font. I'm going to highlight the word strawberries. And if I open up my Character panel, of course in this panel I can see all the different fonts that I've got installed on my computer. And there's a ton of them that have already been used. If you ever want to use a font from the Adobe library, this is known as, or being found in the Adobe Creative Cloud, you can see the little cloud with the checkbox on it. That means it came from Adobe's Cloud Font Server and it's been installed on your computer. Now we want to use Adobe Caslon Regular. In order to find it, I don't have it installed on my computer. I can click on Find More and I can scroll through the list to try to find it, or I can go ahead and try to type it in here. Adobe Caslon, let's go to Find More. Give it a second to think about it. There it is. Caslon Pro Regular. Here it is from in my list. With this selected, I can click on the little Activate, and it's going to ask me, do I want to activate the font? We'll say OK. Give it a second to think about it, and it will install the font, and I'm ready to use within my software. If we go back to fonts, there it is, Adobe Caslon Pro. I can select it, and now I've got it ready to use. Rather than the bold, let's use the regular version. To make the S stand out a little bit more, I'm going to highlight it, and let's change the version of it from regular to italics, and now it really stands out. If we scroll down to this little quote, like you stand out like a bowl of strawberries, or a strawberry in a bowl of peas, we can quadruple click on this to select all of the text. And we can go now to our Character panel, and let's set this to be Adobe Caslon. We're going to do Pro, Bold Italic, or excuse me, semi-bold italic. The size of it can be found right here. It's going to be 25 points. and the leading or the amount of space is going to be set to 35 points. Now, some fonts, especially good professional fonts that are designed in open type, can have a variety of different special characters that can be replaced. To see these special characters, you can open your character panel, go to the options, and go to the open type options. Open type gives you the ability to swap up certain characters for either more fancy or more specialized kinds of designs for them. You can see that swashes was turned on automatically. Hey, if I uncheck swashes, notice that it swapped over to a less fancy Y that's on here. So this is a Y that has or doesn't have swashes. The other thing you can do whenever you have your text selected is look for the little O inside of whatever you have selected. When you click on this, this will let you turn on and off the different kinds of fancy open type things you can choose from. In this case, if I've got discretionary ligatures, there are certain little characters that have special connections to them, known as ligatures. And you can see the S and the T are provided with those. With this done, if I did highlight it, you can see now that here's all of the other different ligatures or different things that can be done if I work within both of those. So highlighting it, I can choose to use it or not use it, or I can go into my open type to be able to find both of those as well. Now, as you saw, a lot of the open type fonts also have special fancy ornamental characters already built into them. Let's scroll down to the very bottom and click inside of this open blank text frame. If we want to be able to see all of the different characters that are inside of a typeface, you can see their glyphs by going to Type and opening the Glyphs panel. The Glyphs panel gives you the ability to see an entire font and what those characters look like. Now specifically, we want to look at the ornamental fonts for Minion Pro. So at the bottom, choose Minion Pro, and it can be the regular style. Then hit Show and scroll down till you see the ornaments for here. We want to insert this special little heart inside of a circle. So double clicking on it will insert it wherever you've got your cursor. Once it's inserted, we can close this out. Let's do some formatting. I'm going to highlight my character. I'm even going to zoom in so I can see it. Let's pull my character panel back out of the way. So zoom in. With it highlighted, in your Properties panel, we can go over here to our fill color and click on the fill. Do make sure the T is selected. We're going to set it to fill in with strawberry red, and our stroke color, we're going to let it be stem green, and we're going to set our stroke settings to be a 1-point stroke. When you click away from it, you can see how it's applied. Now we just need to make it bigger. With it highlighted, go to our character panel and our properties panel, which will give me the same thing, and we're going to do 122 point. Now with it super big, we can zoom out and you can deselect it to see it applied. I'll do Shift-Command-A to deselect everything and then Command-0 to back out. In addition to the special ornaments, there's also fractions in your glyphs. If we scroll that back down to the little recipe down here, we can highlight our text. We want to have this 1/2 be a special glyph. If you go back up to the Type and open your Glyphs panel, again, from here, we can choose to show not the ornaments, but let's do the numbers. We have to scroll up to see it. With numbers selected, you can scroll down and find the 1/2 fraction. If you double click on it, there it is. Now it's set to here. It also remembers it, the last recently used one. So if I needed to highlight the next one, I can double click and quickly add it here. A final thing to remember is that if you highlight something and you've got your open type turned on, with it highlighted, it's also going to recommend some things it can change to as well. So you don't always have to have your glyphs panel open to quickly find these different glyphs. We can close this out and let's back out. To make this a little bit easier to read, let's divide it up into 2 columns. With it selected, we can go to our Object, Text Frame Options. Remember, from our text frame options, this gives us the ability to divide it into 2 columns. So set the number to be 2. If you have preview turned on, you can see it corrected already here. Let's give it a thicker gutter of about 1/4 of an inch, so 0.25 for its gutter. Additionally, to make it a little bit easier to read, we're going to add a line between our columns. Lines in InDesign are known as rules, so think of it as a ruler draws a straight line. Choose column rulers, and we're going to insert a column rule. You can see it applied to here. We'll keep the length of it and the position exactly the same in the middle, but let's change our stroke to be 1 point with the color of it to be strawberry red. That looks good. We'll say OK. Now we don't want our title to be pinned inside of this first column. I would really like for it to span across the entire text box. So I'm going to highlight this top text for chocolate covered strawberries. Let's open up our paragraph panel and we'll click on the options for this. In this case, open up the span columns options. This gives us the ability, especially when we turn on preview, to have it span across all of the columns. When you choose span columns, choose span and all. We'll say OK to this. Finally, let's have nutritional facts start on the second part of this column from here. If we zoom in and put our cursor right in front of the nutritional facts here, let's do a type. We're going to do a break character. In this case, it's going to be a column break. This means wherever it's at, it'll automatically jump to the next top of that column. The paragraph panel also gives us the ability to adjust some of the alignment for our text. For example, let's choose the alignment for Bite of Delight by highlighting it. In your paragraph panel, you can have it be centered inside of here. If we triple click on the body copy and do Command-All to select all of the text, we can have this aligned justified by choosing here. Now both edges are nice and aligned for this one. And then finally, let's select all of the text inside of here and we'll center that one up as well too. You can deselect everything and save. And let's continue on for some more advanced stuff.